Nancy Pelosi literally tweeted. So here she is with the errand boy of the billionaire class, fake tough guy Lawrence O'Donnell. Boy, I would like to meet that guy in a dark alley someday. What, he would fucking crumble like a cracker. He is such a fake tough guy. He is such a bitch to the billionaire class. Maybe I should start over because I think I swore the first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I thought it was 15 was the rule.
Or was that it?
Are you a brawler, Jimmy? Do you do Irish pugilism and all that?
I talk a tough game. I used to like to get in, but ever since my spine collapsed, I haven't been in a fight. I haven't gotten a scrap. I talk big, but I would take on this guy, this guy. Come on, he won't even stand up to Nancy Pelosi's garbage. Okay, so let's start over. So Nancy Pelosi actually tweeted this out. This video because she thinks it's smart, and she's got her errand boy of the billionaire class sitting right next to her, nodding along. Watch this.
President Biden today just demanded that Congress deliver aid to Ukraine. Republicans now blocking that aid.
Well, that's most unfortunate because the fact is, if they think they're...
But the fact is, my husband and I have a lot of stock in Raytheon right now. And they really are hungry for our missiles. And anyway, I can't have enough money, even though I'm about to die.
Wait, can you see what right there? It says coming up, Cassidy Hutchinson. As soon as this
my
watchable.
God.
What a great day of programming on MSNBC.
Wow. Talk about a get.
Why can't they get more people to watch? I don't understand.
More people watch this show than watch Lawrence O'Donnell, that's for sure. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Here we go. And we're being throttled, and he's not.
Giving money, they're not. The Ukrainians have been champions fighting for their democracy and for democracy writ large.
Okay, they're a bunch of Nazis who outlawed their opposition political parties, closed down all the news agencies, and started throwing the religious leaders in prison. That is not a democracy in Ukraine. Ukraine is a bunch of Nazis who outlawed their political opposition and shut down the adversarial press. That is the opposite of a democracy. So she's just a liar. And so, you want to say something?
Yeah, but don't you remember of all of our many wars that we had when we shut down all elections during the entire war?
During the entire war. To save democracy. Okay, here we go. She's got more stupid shit to say.
If they were ever to lose, which is unthinkable, and we must make sure it doesn't happen, but if they were ever to lose...
No, it's unthinkable.
The war is over. Everyone already knows they lost. They did lose. Ukraine was never going to beat Russia in this war, no matter how many billions of dollars you sent them. They lost this war, and now they have to do a peace settlement, and guess who gets to set the terms? Vladimir Putin and Russia get to set those terms. The war is over. The last person to know it is Nancy Pelosi and that cuck interviewing her right now on MSNBC.
Do you know what I just realized he is while she was talking to him like a kindergartner? It's like he's Grover. This is like, it's like you're watching Sesame Street and she's explaining this to Grover.
Yes.
And he's Grover, and but what about Nancy? Look at it.
Can you imagine how expensive it would be to fight Putin in other countries? Yeah, it's just something that is unaffordable.
London by the spring. He's just going to barrel right through Europe.
He's on the Putin's on the march. This again, the people who are on the march, the people who are is the United States and NATO. They're aggressors. We're now occupying a third of Syria, and we just built 2 military bases in Syria. And which part of Syria do you think that is? The part with the schools? No, the part with the oil. That's the part of Syria we're occupying, meaning the United States and NATO is occupying another foreign country. That's super illegal, and we're doing it. And they're pretending that, and that's a half a world away. Putin went into a country on his border because they were threatening a military alliance with a nuclear power that is their enemy, and they wouldn't stop shelling the people in the eastern part of Ukraine, which are the ethnic Russians and the Russian speakers, because they wouldn't go along with a coup government from 2015. The United States CIA got in bed with literal Nazis to overthrow a democratically elected government in Ukraine, And then they started shelling the people in the eastern part of Ukraine because they didn't want to go along with the coup government. They had 2 peace agreements, Minsk 1 and 2 accords. Guess who broke those peace agreements? Was it the people in the Donbass? Was it Putin? No, it was the Nazis and Ukraine government that broke that. And so this is just up is down, black is white. This is 1984 right here. And you got a puppet to power, an enemy of the people, Lawrence O'Donnell. Lawrence O'Donnell is your enemy. He is not your friend, and he's not there to give you the news. Lawrence O'Donnell is there to lie to you on behalf of the billionaire class that is bankrupting this country and siphoning the treasury money over to the military-industrial complex in a money-funneling organization operation called the Ukraine War. That's who Lawrence O'Donnell is, and he's the fakest tough guy there is in the world. Here we go.
Of democracy. But if you're just counting dollars, if you're just doing a green eye shade on it, it's a false claim to say that you're going to save money. There is transparency. There is accountability. There is.
And I'm pissing on your leg and I'm telling you it's raining. There is transparency. There's accountability. Everybody, that's what she just said. There's transparency in the money we're sending to Ukraine. A third of those weapons don't ever make it to Ukraine. Everybody knows that.
Didn't they shoot down a demand that there would be transparency?
Yes.
No, that's letting Putin win.
They try
with Putin if you want to know.
They
where
try
the
to
money
have
goes.
a bill. You're right, Kurt. They try to have a bill in Congress that said that they would have transparency and accountability for they would track the money, and they voted it down. They said no, we can't.
How could that help?
That would help Putin. Hey, here you go. Hold on.
Now, there is values-based, as well as the dollars, the values-based courage of the Ukrainian people. I hope that this is just a few of them. Many of them are very, very supportive of supporting Ukraine and the democracy there. At least that's what we see in the House. We have over 300 votes there. Mitch McConnell has been a champion for Ukraine in the Senate. I hope that he's not dragged down.
Wouldn't it be weird, or wouldn't it be a nice turn if Mitch McConnell and those 300 people in Congress were a champion for America? Wouldn't that be really something? They were fighting to send you $113 billion right now.
Well, writ large, it helps America. Writ large.
Writ
We
large.
have to defend it writ large.
Writ large.
So that means it somehow helps us.
By those who don't share that view. But the fact is, they have to share the view that democracy must be saved.
This idiot.
And that the Ukrainians are a model to the country. And in fact, they have demonstrated, frankly, that they would be good members of NATO because they have fought with our weapons.
She's doing this with her hand because she's jagging off America as she says it. She keeps doing this, and that's her. Unconsciously, she knows she's jerking you off doing this. Okay.
Look at Lawrence O'Donnell's favorite. And then, do you have ice cream? Do you have an ice cream chest?
With our skills, with our training, all the rest, and they've staved off the biggest army in Europe. For now, what? Almost going on 2 years.
They have not staved them
21
off.
months. And God bless them for their courage. God bless Zelensky for the model that he is to the world. And let's hope that this is just something for domestic consumption, that they want to hold people accountable, and that's fine. But let's get the job done, and let's do it soon, and let's do it before Christmas.
Wow.
And let's do it. There's Lawrence O'Donnell. Yeah. That makes sense.
You see the puppet bouncing
I'm
all
inspired.
Can I just want to show them this. After receiving over $113 billion in U.S. taxpayer dollars, Ukraine has retaken the yellow areas on this map.
Whoa.
That's what $113 billion got you, everybody.
Wow, Jimmy, they passed the stavings on to us.
All he needs another 60 trillion.
You know how much Russia spends on their military? Well, before this war, they were spending $60 billion a year on their military. And this is how much $113 billion got you back of that territory. And by the way, they're not giving this back. Yeah. Russia's not giving this back.
So nothing would have got us more than that.
That's right.
And by us, I mean not me.
So here's what I said about it, and then I'll throw it. I said most now acknowledge that the Ukraine war is completely lost. Only the biggest criminals don't acknowledge that, and these are two of the biggest criminals. Here, full-time criminal Nancy Pelosi lies that the war is somehow not lost in order to get billions more to the money laundering program known as the Ukraine war. It's not a war. It's a criminal money laundering program, and Pelosi is one of the biggest criminals who still want to continue to fleece the U.S. Treasury in service of the military-industrial complex. These people are the actual enemies of the American people, not Putin, not China, not Iran, not Syria, not Libya, not Afghanistan. It's our own politicians who are happy to bankrupt America for wars of choice provoked by NATO. Americans need an actual revolution where we jail these politicians and break up the corporate media that lies and propagandizes the American people to support these criminal enterprises. And that's what I really think. And you know what she said back to that?
That's wow. that was her rat-like nature coming out.
She's starting a fire.
Oh, we're getting a couple of $100 more billion into our coffers for our donor class.
Old Boney Baloney strikes again.
Oh boy, we're gonna get a couple of $100 more billion right out the door while we leave America bankrupt. Oh, we're crushing them. So some people say this. Just had a client tell me that Putin is dead set on taking over Poland if we don't stop him. I know it's a lot of money, but we can't let him do that.
Are you from Poland?
Can you insert your Polish joke here? So there's Nancy Pelosi, and she's really getting excited about sending some more money grifting over out of the treasury.
A little bird told me I'm gonna make a lot of money on a stock.
You leave my Paul alone. Let me bring in the fellows from Due Dissidence. Do you have anything to say about Nancy Pelosi's garbage and Lawrence O'Donnell sitting there sucking her cock?
Well, I can't confirm the second part of that, but it is just really extraordinary.
Didn't she go out of frame for a minute there?
Yeah, right. Well, he would be the one going out of frame if he was the one doing it. But it's just really extraordinary how anyone can vote for these people. Like, how could you walk into a voting booth and vote for these people? Well, the answer to that is the only people who would even think of voting for these people are people for whom none of this matters. People who are not affected by any of this, who feel like they are completely removed from the consequences of just one disastrous decision after the next. I mean, what struck me about that interview is how sunny she was, how happy she was, as if Ukraine is winning and they're going to win, just like our economy, pardon me, is actually in great shape and people are doing well. And the only people who think that they're not doing well are wrong because they actually are, right? It's just this
dead enders.
It's Orwell. It's up is down.
It's a Nigerian scam.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's extraordinary. Like, the only people that could fall for that are people who are just completely insulated from the hardship of economic strife, of war. I mean, you wouldn't think watching her there that 500,000 people have been killed or injured in this war yet. 500,000 people killed and injured. The amount of blood that's been spilled, the horror that has been visited upon Ukraine because of this. That's the ultimate irony. Like, to me, being pro-Ukraine means being for the people of Ukraine, meaning not wanting people to be killed, right? And the human cost of that, you would never get a sense of any of that from watching her there. You would get the sense that everything's going fine and we just have to keep going, and these Republicans are naysayers who want to give up and let Putin win, and there's no reason why we would do that. I mean, it's fantasy. It's absolute, utter fantasy, and the only people who fall for it are the people who can afford to fall for it because it doesn't affect them at all.
Yeah, these people are the scum of the earth. I wrote an article a while ago laying out the case for Nancy Pelosi should be in prison. self-evidently, she should be in prison. She clearly is doing inside trading. Year after year after year after year, she beats the greatest investors in the world. She outperforms Warren Buffett every year. Now, is she the only one? No. I mean, most of Congress should be in prison on this basis. But she takes it to a whole other level. Her stock picks are so predictive that there are services that you can subscribe to that will just track Nancy Pelosi stock moves, and everyone just follows them because it's the best way you can outperform the market. Just trade with Nancy Pelosi. That is mathematically impossible. Why is she not in prison? Why is she walking around free?
And it's interesting that she kept the case she makes here is that this money we're spending in Ukraine is a good investment. That if we don't spend it there, it's the best money we ever spent because we're gonna have to spend more if we don't spend it now. Just look at the gains our tax dollars are winning for us in Ukraine. We're losing money. We're losing money not investing here. That we got it. This is the Bitcoin of global conflict. That's what I think. This would be like investing in Apple in 1984. That's what she's trying to make this sound like.
It's just really great forward thinking.
Sure, it's too late to put our money into America, but it's not too late to put our money into Ukraine. Those areas in yellow might seem a little too on the map, but if you were there, you'd see that they're the happiest places on earth. These are the happiest places on earth. It's like Disneyland, exciting rides.
Disney Ukraine.
Yep, a lot of exciting rides. That's
Disney
for sure.
Is hemorrhaging money as well. Mm-hmm. Ukraine and Disney are fairly closely approximate each other.
That's
right.
Right now,
like just now, the denialism is stopping from the top, where they're like. Lindsey Graham and Bob Iger have both given up on their thing.
We're doing live comedy shows in Oxnard, California, Venice, California, Palmdale, California, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Lansing, Michigan, Bend, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, and Boston. Plus, we're going to put a date in Edmonton, Canada, plus Vancouver. See ya. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.